Hey everyone, hey and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. This is your host, Tom Quee. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for listening. This is a show where predominantly we're interviewing battlers, going through their back catalogue, their writing, their experiences, etc. But occasionally we have an interesting variation on that guest, such as today's guest. And just before we get there, please support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/Battle Rap Resume. If you want to give back to the show, you want to get some access to some premium content, get in touch with me, battleresume@gmail.com, leave us a review on iTunes. But yeah, one of the best leagues to have popped out in recent memory is RBE, from a production standpoint, from just quality standpoint of these battles. Some of my favourite clashes go down in the league, and I'm very excited to talk about it with ARP. How's it going, man?
Yes, sir. Big time. What's going on, baby? We here, ARP, Rare Breed Entertainment, man. Same old, man. Working. Trying to keep everything building and moving, man. What's going on out there with y'all?
Oh, man. I haven't watched it yet. I saw it was just released about an hour or so ago. JC versus Ilmac. Everyone's going crazy for this battle.
Yes, sir. That went down on the our November card, Pearly Gates. It was one of Rare Breed Entertainment's biggest cards to date. We had the headliner Big K versus Old Red on there. We've also released the DNA versus Big Cannon. They can do the King of Rebuttals and Freestyle Clash on that finally. And like you said, we just released the highly anticipated JC versus Ilmac, man. I don't know why that battle has not happened over the years, but it finally went down and we just dropped it.
I see that a lot with RBE. Battles come along, say like, I don't know, Chiller versus Danny Myers, for example, which is like, why hadn't that happened before? And you guys just seem to have that knack for picking out the good matchups.
Yeah. I mean, it's really just the creativity. And you also got to know what you're here for as a league. Everybody has their lanes. When we came in, we kind of introduced a new wave that we brought in with the blood, sweat, and tears concept. And the whole concept behind that was there shouldn't be any walls between talent. There shouldn't be any tiers. We shouldn't say only a top tier can battle a top tier. To us, talent is talent, and I think that really opened our vision up from the jump, where we can just look at good talent, good styles, and certain personalities and put them together, and the battlers have always brought it to our stage, and we end up with real high quality matchups and turnouts. So that's really been our focus, the quality.
Yeah. And just before we get into the league proper, broadly, yourself and Battle Rap, what are your first memories of watching it?
Oh, man, my first memories of watching Battle Rap, it wouldn't be on video. This is before the YouTube days. This is before the internet boom. I think a lot of us come from a hip-hop background. And as we know, hip-hop is a lifestyle. It's not just rapping. It's not just music. Hip-hop is graffiti. It's DJing. It's breakdancing. It's the music. It's the way we talk, the way we dress, the way we act. It's a culture. It's a way of life. And I came up in that same hip-hop culture like the rest of us that loved it, from a child. My first battles I saw in high school at the lunch table, just like a lot of us. Beating on the table. Some of the best freestylers or rappers in the school. I was never one of them. I was always a spectator.
Right.
Let's get that clear. But I've had an interest in one-on-one clashes, battle rap. Me versus you, who's better? Since I was a kid, since my teenage years, and here we are now, the modern era of battle rap. We're able to bring a platform like RBE along and bring our own ideas to life. So I've been in, since the start, since early hip hop era.
And was there always a desire to create your own platform, your own league, or?
No. I wouldn't say that. So being a hip hop guy since as a kid, that's always been in me. Never envisioned in my teenage years even having my own platform for hip hop, whether it be music, battles, skits, trail, that type of stuff. Never envisioned that. But the closer and closer I got to battle rap, I wanted to be involved. And I was involved with a different company before my brother and I created Rare Breed Entertainment. And our ideas were pretty limited as far as what we can get done over there. We wanted to be in a space where we had more control. If we saw something that we thought would be great for the fans, that we would have the flexibility to reach out and put it together. And that's when we spawned off and created Rare Breed Entertainment and started to work for ourselves, basically. So even before Rare Breed Entertainment, I came into the battle rap culture, sub-booking battles with another company. And I was also blogging before we had our own platform as well. So I was involved in battle rap you know, in the modern day era, YouTube era and internet era for a very, very long time.
So, I mean, you're attending a lot of URL events, were you, early on, just as a fan? Or?
Oh, definitely. I remember all the early URL events, some of the early Grind Time and King of the Dot events. If you look in that footage, you know, all those leagues, you know,
Yeah,
except for I never was that close to a Grind Time battle. Even Lions Den stuff. I remember being outside, you know, and catching some of that stuff.
Did I see you in Bill Collector QP, or am I imagining things?
Bill Collector QP. Which platform was that again?
URL, yeah.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure, because I saw you had a tattoo on that arm. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's ARP. I wasn't quite sure, but you know, wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you know, because like I said, I was also, you know, kind of had my foot in the business a little bit with a different company, but as well as blogging. So a lot of people were starting to pick up my face from being at all these different events, URL included, because I'm a New Yorker, and they were at the time and still is the dominant league in New York. So I was attending a lot of their events as well. And then a blog would drop, you know, and people were starting to put the face to it. You know, so I kind of was building a small reputation for myself before Rare Breed Entertainment was created, not even knowing that Rare Breed Entertainment was going to be created.
Yeah, and I love the blogs that you continue to do on the channel. You know, we don't really see organic or you know, talking much about the league explicitly, but I like how it's intrinsic to the channel, isn't it? There's the uploads as you presenting it, but there's also you just going through the world of battle rap.
Yeah, I love it, and that's why I would never look at myself as a league owner blogger, because I was blogging before I was a league owner. So that's why when you go on our channel and you may pull up some of my blogs, you'll see me recap a battle from another league, you know, just like any other blogger, you know, from an unbiased standpoint. Or you'll see me do topic blogs based on, you know, battle rap as a whole, or certain things that's going on I might touch on. And then, of course, I'll do Rare Breed Entertainment specific stuff. So because I'm not a league owner and that becomes a blogger, you know, it's created that uniqueness to what I can do on the channel. I was a blogger that became a league owner.
Yeah.
So I always keep that unbiased standpoint because it comes from that love for blogging way before being a league owner.
Yeah, it's a dream. If there's ever a Battle Rap Resume Battle League, then, you know, that's hopefully what I'm going to go into eventually. But you and Shotter, is that right? The main staff, or?
Yes, sir. That's my brother. He's the co-owner. He's the one that came up with the co-idea with me of us starting Rare Breed Entertainment as a hip-hop platform and battle rap platform. And we launched the channel. We made the company official, went and got an LLC and trademarked and all that stuff in 2013. That's when we booked our first card. And then we came out the gate, and the rest has been history since then.
And I think the quality was evident, you know, early on, really. And you were giving platforms to battlers that maybe weren't getting the shine at the time on URL. I'm thinking, you know, JC's, Big Cannons, etc. And really, you know, putting them on the center stage.
Absolutely. And that traces back to our, probably the series on Rare Breed Entertainment that defines us the most. Once again, that being Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Because when we came into the game, you know, we didn't care about status. The game was, you know, kind of moving more in a business fashion where, you know, everything was aiming to be big, or the bigger the better, or the biggest names. You put them on a stage, you know. But when we care about the quality, you take a guy like, let's say, Big Cannon or JC. I know guys that have 5 times the profile than those two guys at the time, but they are lyrically or talent-wise, you know, light years ahead of them. And that's what we cared about. That's why when we came out with our first card, you know, you saw, you know, guys like even Moneybags. You know, that's a guy that I had a lot of respect for and appreciation for his talent, you know, and that's even still today. You see remnants of that in the game, where the popular guys that can usually turn over more views tend to get a little bit more of the light, more of the bookings. And I understand that you got to give the fans what they want, but making sure that you stick to the quality the way that Rare Breed Entertainment has done over the years. We've watched the game evolve. We've watched the mid-tier class of battle rapper be reborn. You know, I question highly if Rare Breed Entertainment never existed, especially on the East Coast battle rap scene. If Rare Breed Entertainment never existed, would the game have been chokehold to a point where the mid-tiers or the lesser viewed guys or the bar-heavy guys, would they have ever gotten the light that they deserve? Would they ever get the bookings that they deserve? you know, the Chilla Joneses of the world. You know, when somebody like Chilla Jones gets written off by leagues on the East Coast saying, you're too boring for the stage. And then we come and we say, well, there's a place for that. You put that type of person against a certain type of opponent in a certain size venue on a certain type of card, you know, in a certain type of light and promotion. And you highlight his bars, you highlight his talent, you highlight his strong points. And I think that opened up the game to small room battles, to smaller environment battles, to bar heavy guys that may not be as let's say eye catchy, you know, because we're gonna have the superstars like a Conceited or a Hitman or a Sue Surf, but not only are those guys talented, they also have draws to them that's past just rapping. We know that. That's called the it factor and superstar quality. We made sure that the guys that don't necessarily have the it factor, but may have a strong point of just quality and rapping skills and lyricism, that we gave those guys all the light that we can put behind them. And I really think that it evolved the game.
And I mean, when you threw your first event, then obviously you got to have the big names to draw people in. But were you always trying to develop your own talent as well alongside that, or was it more about getting a name early on?
No. Well, it's a mixture of both. You kind of hinted towards that.
Sure.
So Adi Boom was a guy that we were very interested in. My very first time seeing Adi Boom was versus Merrick City in the Quiet Room battle. That was Queen Flip's league at the time.
Yep.
So we were booking Adi Boom around the same time that he was also getting booked by URL. We were both interested in him at the same time. So I ended up reaching out to Boom and booking him versus Averb, because Averb was down to take an up-and-comer. That was our first time trying to crack through that separation of the tiers. We did the same thing with Goods and Danger Zone.
Yep.
But also on that card, as far as developing talent, the very first Rare Breed Entertainment battle to ever touch the stage, the very first performance to ever perform under our umbrella was Oops.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that. They think about Oops and they think about Rare Breed Entertainment. They think about his classic battles like him versus Red, him versus Daylight. You know, he's had battles and performances, 2 performances on Rare Breed Entertainment, picked up by World Star, went viral on Facebook. But he was the very first person to ever battle underneath the Rare Breed Entertainment umbrella. He opened up our first card for us versus a Staten Islander named Blu-ray.
Blu-ray, yeah.
2 guys that we were given a shot, you know. And that's just a prime example of our history of caring about the development. And then since then, you see what we did with Oops.
Yeah.
You know, the profile that he gained underneath Rare Breed Entertainment. You know, he can go away from battle rap for 2 years and he still has battle rap profile from what he's done inside Rare Breed Entertainment. So that there was always a strong tie to up and comers and guys that didn't have faces at the time, but while mixing in some of those top tier guys that have names as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question that RB battles are great looks for battlers. I mean, look at Jim's, for example. Rich Dollars, Cortez, Sirius Jones, like he's a megastar right now in a certain sense. And those cemented him, right?
Yeah, I think that's what really got Jim's to the level of respect that he deserved. He had a strong resume before touching Rare Breed Entertainment on leagues such as Trap House. He battled Rosenberg Raw early on. He battled Shotgun Suge in a one rounder. He battled Scripps. He battled XL. Those were some tough battles, but during that time he was still perfecting his craft, still finding his style, finding his lane, finding that perfect mix of his charisma and his bars and his schemes. And then we got him on, like you said, you know, it was Rich Dollars. After Rich Dollars, it was getting him kind of a grudge match in the homie John calling me.
It's all good. It's all good.
My bad, Jay. I'm gonna call you right back. I'm in this interview right now. I'm gonna call you right back. Sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Apologies.
Perils of being a league owner.
Another battle rap league owner, by the way. We can get to that.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great to see even behind the scenes, you know, league owners that chop it up and work together. But jumping back on the topic, so then we got his first semi-grudge match, Cortez, a battle that he really wanted. And then, like you said, Sirius Jones, great challenge, you know, guy that's a legend, goes all the way back to the beginning of battle rap times. And then Averb with money on the line. So I think those battles really, really helped him get to a position where the fans could respect him if he was either having a solid performances versus names like that, or winning, or at least having a good performance that people could debate. So that really pushed him. And then during that time, he continued to find his style, his lane. And then you have King of the Dot that also came on board and started to work with gyms that opened him up to another fan base demographic when he battled Loso, battled DNA, and then most recently Matt Hoffa on that platform. So it's a testament to what a artist that is consistent, an artist that works hard, and coupled with a strong platform that believes in you. It's a testament to what can become of a situation like that.
Yeah, and the added value that RBE gives is evident in these early videos. Like I like the video of Rosenberg Raw in his hood, and you just sort of see him in his own environment, and it's just a unique thing. You don't see that on many channels.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, we haven't done something like that in a very long time too. And some of that was our hunger hasn't gone anywhere, but also not only coupled with the hunger, but your respect as a platform. So when Rare Breed Entertainment comes into the game, you already have your URL, you already have your King of the Dot. Those are extremely strong platforms. And for fans to respect your platform, they have to respect your platform on multiple levels. It's more than just the battlers. They have to respect you as a leader. They have to respect you as a visionary. They have to respect your work ethic. And what we were doing was we were getting out there and we were mixing with all the battlers, and we was putting in the work side by side with them, even in the upcoming promotions. So I drove down to PA to hang out with Rosenberg for a day while we were doing all that trailer footage. I would go to Newark to hang out with O-Red and hang out with Shotgun Sugar, Arsenal, and do their trailer footage. I would go to Midtown Manhattan and the Port Authority just to shoot, or the restaurant, just to shoot skit footage with Matt Hoffa. This was me leaving my borough, going out of my way with the rest of the Rare Breed Entertainment team, our cameramen, and linking up with these battlers to try to put together these unique presentations and really show the fans the type of ethic that's behind Rare Breed Entertainment. And hence the turnout. Here we are, now moving into 5 years later, we got 4 years under the belt already, and you remember old videos like that in Rosenberg. So, so that's a testament to it. Yeah,
and you did that the Flatline recap with Chiller and Rosenberg Raw as well. Like, there's just so much extra stuff.
Yeah. That was a while ago. Yeah. And I'm that same guy. That was us, I believe, at that event. That's me just at the event as a fan. I don't go to events as a league owner. I still take myself as, just a common battle rap fan, but, decided to run my own platform with my team and my brother. But when I go to events, I pay like everybody else. I've had league owners try to get me not to pay, and I tell them, like, no, I pay all the time. Like every event I go to, Massacre, we bought like 6 VIP tickets to go. Even though King Fly and Organic, they threw us two free VIPs, I turned around and bought more just to make sure that we were supporting the event, and we didn't show up with the free tickets. Trap House. Recently, I went to Bullpen, the card that had B Dot versus Loso. I got to the door, and John's girl that runs the door and does the door sales. She asked me, "You want general admission or VIP?" I said, "How much is the VIP?" And she told me how much it was. All I asked is that I could see the VIP just so I could see that it has a good view. She showed me the VIP, and I spent the extra money just to support the league. I could have easily walked into the event with John or his partner. Or text somebody, "Oh, I'm outside, can I get in?" I don't do that. I try to support these guys. I understand the grind, and I'm still a fan like anybody else.
And I mean, just as you sort of moved forward with RBE, it seemed like you were just putting on killer event after killer event. I think especially the one that has Ill Will, Big Cannon, and Goods versus Addy Boom on. Just crazy battles.
Yeah. And that was us, trying to find out our pace. Our pace has changed over the years as far as the type of cards that we do. First we were doing, semi-sized cards. Then we introduced our small room series and validation. And we were kind of going up, down, where you would get a small room card and then maybe more of a mid-sized powerful card, something like that. Just finding our pace, feeding the fans, finding, what type of pace works best for our fan base. But as of recent, we've been kind of driving home larger cards, and to go semi off topic, it's our way of breaking in to new fan expectations, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. When we announced Arsenal versus QB, which is one of our highest viewed battles on the channel, I saw personally in some Facebook groups, a few tweets like, "Wow, that's a very big battle. Can Rare Breed Entertainment handle that? Should that be on their platform?" And then we did the battle. It was a success. We put a great card around it, a great concept around it. That was Lift for Soul 3. That's when we turned Lift for Soul into our theme series. Great promotion. Both battlers love the turnout. The fans love the turnout. And then you fast forward, our last card, Pearly Gates, that was a huge card for Rare Breed Entertainment. And I saw bloggers saying, wow, this card surprised us. I saw Tech Nine on Champion. He says ARP and those guys must have hit the lottery. This looks like a Summer Madness card.
Sure.
And to us, that was funny. That was real cool to see. But the point that I'm making is now when we come back and if we do like a Pearly Gates 2 or a card bigger than Pearly Gates, so when you start seeing Hollow to Don and Hitman and Loaded Lux and all these guys on Rare Breed Entertainment, those walls are broken down. We have a very, very patient break down the wall philosophy of approaching things. It's the same philosophy of Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Break down the walls and wait until the fans respect the mismatching of tiers. It's the same thing with us as far as what we promote. We stuck to our guns, we stayed patient, we stayed true, and we kept the quality. We kept booking the guys that you would expect, the type of matchups that you would expect on RBE, but we're also now venturing past that. So now when you see us begin to break those barriers down within the Rare Breed Entertainment platform, people will be less and less surprised to see what we put on our league or on our platform.
Yeah.
So it's just a progression. It's just a progression.
Yeah, naturally. And I think the first time I ever heard about you guys was Daylight versus Oops, which was, a hugely viral battle at the time. As you said, it was, been shared online multiple times. This was kind of breaking new ground for RBE, wasn't it, in terms of acclaim?
Yeah, it absolutely was. That battle, it's got so many factors to it, as far as Rare Breed Entertainment's legacy. So first thing you're doing is you're taking Oops, who was like we explained earlier, the first person to ever open up a battle underneath the Rare Breed Entertainment umbrella. Somebody that we invested in and helped to promote and build a profile with. So you got him, Then you have Daylight. At the time, Daylight, he had never been on URL before. That doesn't matter right now in 2017, but why it mattered then is because at that time, there was promotions and sometimes, fans, they just carry things out of promoting of if it's not your talent or if it's not this and it's not that. It's usually just brute force marketing because, fans sometimes, if they hear something and sounds good, they'll take to it. But we had to make sure that we counteracted that at times. You don't hear that kind of that talk anymore because I think every league is past that at this point as well as the fans. But back then, we were. So for Daylight coming on RBE at that time, it was a big look. Then you have the way that they both went about their third rounds, where Oops opened up, his most personal. He can't get more personal in any than that, as well as Daylight. Daylight being somebody that was known for antics, nothing but antics in his battles for the most part. That's what everybody knew him for. But then he came in that third round and he explained himself. He explained why he is the way that he is. He explained what his upbringing was like. This was stuff that he never revealed to his fan base. He's never revealed to the world. And this is why that battle did millions of views on Facebook. It was picked up by World Star. And that's why we had people in the crowd crying, literally crying. It tickled some people's skin. It made our skin crawl. So, huge look and huge moment for Rare Breed Entertainment. I think it was just the perfect scenario for us as a platform and the things that we do and the things that we believe in and how we are, and those two guys to come together to create a moment like that further makes people understand who we are and what we do.
Yeah, and you built on that with Blood, Sweat, and Tears 3, which again is just a sensational event. I have to talk really about Chiller versus Danny, as I mentioned before. One of my all-time favorite battles. I mean, one of the best battles to watch ever, right? It's just so entertaining.
Yeah, love that matchup.
Yeah.
Love that matchup. Two bar guys. That was our 2-day event. The reason why we did a 2-day event. Normally, when you see 2-day events, King of the Dot sometimes they do 2-day events where both days are huge days. You got to give them their credit for that,
Sure.
like a World Dom, sometimes, or maybe a Blackout. But outside of that, normally when you see 2-day events, you'll see the smaller day, like for like the up and comers, and then you'll see the main card day. That was RBE. We tested ourselves, and we were also making up for some time because we had skipped a card during the summer for that event. We didn't do a card within like 4 months or something. So we came back with 2 main cards, Blood, Sweat, and Tears 3 coupled with Lift the Soul 2, put them on a Saturday and Sunday. And that Danny Myers and Chilla Jones fell on day 2. And man, that battle, it fit that card. It brought exactly what we expected out of those 2 guys. It was the first time for both of those guys being on our platform. And that battle turned out to be what we expect. When you put together 2 guys that are known for, their rap skills, their lyricism, you put them in an environment like that where they don't feel the pressures of having to live up to anything other than who they are as a battler, that is the end product.
Yeah. Anyone that hasn't seen it, I've spoken about it a lot on the show. It's incredible. Me and Chilla broke it down as well. Really, really good battle. And one of the things, ARP, about RBE, if you would describe them as a league to people and say like markers people might recognise, one of them is the fact that you're at the front, arms folded, listening. It's quite a nice iconography sort of thing.
I'm sorry, say again about me at the front listening?
Yeah. Just I like how it looks. Like it's kind of a part of the league in itself that you're just there, the head honcho, paying attention to the bars. It just helps as a viewer to engage, I guess.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I'll give you a little bit more detail on that. It puts me in a mixed situation because at one moment I'm watching the battle as a pure fan. Just because we book battles that we ourselves want to see as well. We don't just say, what, if we grab these 2 guys, it'll do, a lot of views. Like, no, when we book cards before the world even knows about our cards, trust me, we're the ones on pins and needles the most because we're sitting there anticipating watching those battles as well. So like what we have coming up for February 3rd, the card is, I know the card, and I'm just antsy already because I got to wait till February 3rd to see these crazy matchups. So I got that aspect of being up there. But there's the work element that you just can't ignore. You're scanning the crowd. You're seeing how the fans are receiving things. You're making sure nobody's recording the battles. You're checking on your production team. You're making sure that they're doing what they need to do, that they're giving you the signals to start, stop, whatever the case may be. You're making sure that the battlers are fulfilling their sides and nobody has a time limit issue. There's so much that you're paying attention to, that takes away from being able to just sit there and fully enjoy the battle as a fan. Don't get me wrong, there are moments where, I get to I hear a crazy bar and I'm in full fan mode.
Yeah.
But it's a responsibility because the job of a host is not just to listen to battles. At the end of the day, the 2 battlers need somebody that's going to be neutral at times. I've been there to separate tension. I've been there to stop fights. I've been there to check time limits. You know what I'm saying? I've been there to make sure that the battlers don't start rapping before the cameramen, reload up their memory cards or whatever, so the fans don't miss any footage. It's a job. It's a job within itself that you can't take for granted.
One of the things we've seen over the past few years, ARP, has been the explosion of crews in battle rap affiliations, in that sort of sense. I love the fact that you guys put on the Team Homie versus Writer's Block card, just when it needs to be put on. But it was, some great battles, but it was a little controversial, wasn't it, with some of the judging?
Absolutely. And let's not sugarcoat it. The controversy came down to the main event of Danny Myers versus Swave 7.
Sure.
So I've heard a lot of the fan feedback, even though that's an old battle in respect to battle rap because battle rap moves so fast. So you can kind of scale that as an old battle. I still hear about it constantly, that the controversy to that. But I tell people all the time to offer back a different perspective. I enjoy the controversy of that card and that battle because that is clean, good, healthy battle rap controversy. That's not somebody got into a fight. that's not these two leagues are getting into it, and this battle was blocked, or this person no-showed their battle, or this person ran off with some money, or stole this. Or, that is good, clean controversy. And that card came down to the absolute finish line. And when I say that, people don't know. We couldn't have asked for a better ending with when you alleviate the controversial judging. But you had it 2-2. You know, two wins on each side coming down to the main event. So not only did it come down to the main event, it came down to the third round for the judges. And not only did it come down to the third round, you know, it could have been a split judging. You know, if you watched it, the way that the judging came down. So when you talk about to the wire, you know, that was one of the funnest cards to enjoy live in the building with the fans, because it created that energy and that anticipation of how we all going to leave this venue. You know, it's not like when you come to an event, you know, you may have seen the main battle that you're there for, and that's really what you're going to take the most with you when you leave. Everybody's in there looking for the finale of which team is going to leave with the W.
Sure.
So it just created an energy that I've never felt before at any live event. I really can't wait to do another Starting Five Volume 2. It's very tough to put those cards together.
Yeah.
Easy. It's not easy.
I mean, dream card. If you just put two crews against each other, who would you do as the next volume?
Part of me feels that because Team Hami won,
sure,
they deserve to be a part of Volume 2. It gives it that little sports feeling of you know, you made it out of the semifinals, you're back in the finals. You know, so part of me feels like Team Hami would deserve to be back in it. I think the Goonies would be a candidate.
Yeah.
Ryder, Jack Boy, Drugs. I think the Goonies would be a candidate. I like the Four Horsemen, and then if you add another person to their team, the Four Horsemen is a kind of a new team.
Oh yeah, is that like Mike P and Daylight and that?
I don't know if Mike P and Daylight's on there. I believe the Four Horsemen was Loso.
Oh right. Oh yes. Yeah, sorry, I know what you mean. Yeah.
The Saga, and I'm going blank. But you know, they have a niche. You know, they're sometimes categorized as Christian rappers. You know, but even though they're Christian rappers, we have seen that they mix with the best of them, whether it's Loso, whether it's Saga, whether it's A-Ward.
Oh, yeah.
So I think teaming those guys together versus like, you know, a Team Hami, I think that's a great card to put together as well. I would like to do that, something like that in 2018, but we'll see.
And you know, we can't get through all these battles really. Just JC versus Mr. Mills is one of my favorites. I think that's about a year ago or so. You know, there's been so many good, like, I don't know, it's great to see that battlers don't take RBE for granted. They really respect the platform and try their best.
Yeah, and there's so many factors to that. You know, it's not like it's not one thing. It's not like, oh my God, Rare Breed Entertainment is paying them triple of what they're making everywhere else. So it's not like that.
Sure.
You know, but there is a business factor that's there. Then you have the league's intentions, what the league is there for, why the league is putting this matchup together. You have that factor. You have the expectations of what the fan bases look for when they look to RBE. You know, and I have a blog that's going to be coming on the channel real soon, breaking down RBE as a platform, and I'll give you a kind of summary of what it's going to be titled and the theme of it. But it's going to equate battle rap into basketball, because you hear the NBA terminology a lot, you hear sports terminology a lot. And I'm going to define Rare Breed Entertainment as a rucker.
Okay.
You know, if you think about the rucker part, you know, sometimes you're not going to see all the bright lights, but there's a lot of moves that come out of the rucker that end up in the NBA. The rucker is where a lot of people earn their names, earn their credibility. The rucker is where the stars come to and they drop 60 points, like a Kevin Durant or Kobe Bryant or Allen Iverson. These stars come through the rucker, you know, to get revalidated and show the fans where their heart really is, where their drive really is, where their talent really is at the street raw level. You know, and RBE has provided that. So the reputation of us as a platform, the owners and the partners behind it, you know, the way we've gone about our bookings, our style, staying in our lane, the battlers have molded to that. And it's all come together and produced these quality matchups where you may see even a lackluster performance, on a league that might even be bigger than us. But you may see a better turnout sometimes in an RBE situation, and that's humbly speaking. But it's just a lot of factors that we work hard to put together to make sure that we stick to the quality first.
And going into the small room for Validation 5, which Battle Rap does that a lot with the bunker. Smack just had its sort of one-off wherever that was, that mystery location. This event, the one with JC versus Craig Lamar, is one that always sticks in my head. Again, just terrific clashes.
Yeah. The JC Craig Lamar. There's a few reasons why I'm proud of that battle. Number one, I'm proud of that battle that it was on a small card, a small room event, and the fans and the bloggers and everybody got behind it and gave it the light and the respect that the quality deserved. Those guys, they did such an amazing job. It deserved to be watched. It deserved to be talked about. And I saw just about every blogger, just about every fan have that in the top 5 battles of the year.
Yeah.
And I think it deserved it. So that's one reason I'm very, very proud of that battle. There's another thing that I'm proud about, and it's on Craig Lamar's side, not to be biased to him, but more so the situation that RBE has endorsed since day one. And it's not worrying about your tier, or it's not worrying about necessarily the platforms that you have been on. Because I know Craig Lamar from Milltown Blows.
Yep.
The very first time that I saw him versus Chef Trez.
Oh, good battle.
Yeah, and that battle alone told me that Craig Lamar is ready to stand in front of high caliber opponents. So there was no process. There was no 1SK battle for him. There was no PG for him. There was no GZ for him. And I'm naming Rare Breed Entertainment, URL, King of the Dot Development Systems, just to make sure that people understand I'm not being biased. I'm not trying to single any league out.
Yeah.
There was no development for him when it came to Rare Breed Entertainment. We brought him onto Rare Breed Entertainment for his very first booking, and we threw him in versus one of the deadliest pens that ever come into the game. And believing in him that he can stand in front of JC, who was already starting to come into his peak, is why we turned out with such a classic battle. That is our best validation battle. So, that's why I'm proud of it, because it's those two guys. They brought to life our beliefs and our philosophies of how we approach the game, and they showed us once again that the way that we do things is the right way.
And I love how Mr. Mills, his opponent didn't show, right? So he performed his rounds to you on camera.
For which battle was that?
This is Validation, Mr. Mills.
Oh yes, that was for. He had an opponent, Holmesy the God.
Holmesy the God, right?
Yeah, Holmesy the God. We had him on RBE, I think 3 times. Something like that. He's been battling more recently on URL. And
he battled Joe, I think, on a PG.
Yeah, I think he also has a battle coming up versus Craig Lamar on URL,
right.
Top of the year. But Holmesy the God is a guy that we began to develop in that process. Like I said, we had him on for like 3 battles. And when we got to a point where we said, let's give him a very solid name and a very, very dangerous opponent, that opponent was Mr. Mills. And Holmesy the God, he couldn't make it to the event. He had some stuff going on. And Mr. Mills, by the time we had really figured out that it wasn't going to work out, Mr. Mills was already on the bus on the way to New York. So, he still came to the event. We still had his bus. We still had his hotel room booked. So he still came to the event. And I told him, I said, you got fans here. We got the cameras here still. If you want to, spit some of your material, I'll get up there with you, and we can still deliver something to the fans, and that's what we did. He spit maybe like a round and a half of his material to me as if I was his opponent, just so you could have that object in front of him. And, we edited it and we dropped it on the battle like it was on the channel like it was a regular release.
Yeah, I love that. It's just the humility of the league, the honesty to that. Are you ever going to battle, or is that just not for you?
Nah. Yeah. Battling isn't for me.
Sure.
If I ever did it, it would be a joking type of thing.
Okay.
We did that before as well. If you watch JC versus Fireboy, if you look at the end of the footage, we put some bonus footage on that battle, me versus Adi Boom.
Mm.
You know, and that was because Adi Boom had missed the JC battle on the card prior, and to kind of make up for that, you know, he came and he got on stage and he rapped at me as if I was his opponent, and we kind of introduced it like we had a problem. Like, you know, I'm on the microphone and I'm like, yo, if you got a problem, come to the stage right now. And you could see even the bloggers that's on the stage, like Jay Black's on the stage, and you look at his face, you know, he's like, oh shit, like what's gonna happen? And we did it like that just for the entertainment. When Adi Boom got up there and he took the mic, he started rapping. And that was our way of showing the fans that even though he missed his last battle, you know, we're still friends, we're still cool, it's all good. We understand he got put in a situation, but you know, he's back rocking with us, and there's no animosity in the air at all. You know, so we've done that before, but as far as me actually trying to put bars together, I'm not that talented. I'm a great critic. I have a great ear and a great eye for talent, a great ear and eye for hip hop in general. I'm real good with music and seeing talent, but as far as writing, I'm pretty sure I could put something together that would sound decent, but I don't deserve to be in the ring with some of these guys, trust me.
Yeah, no, fair enough. In May this year, we had a battle that when it was announced, people were going crazy for this. Again, they were so excited it was on your platform. Big K versus JC. I mean, two of the hottest in the game, right?
Yeah. Perfect timing for that. And we've caught a few like that in 2017 with the timing. You know, JC and Big K, both two guys that are in that debate for Best Battler 2017. Yeah. And to get them to come across each other at a peaking year like this in both of their careers, you know, it was a great opportunity for battle rap. It was a great opportunity for RBE as well as them. And I love the turnout of that battle. You know, I think both of those guys did their thing as well. Who do you have winning that battle?
Probably have Big K, personally. But I thought JC was good, but you felt that he wasn't as prepped potentially as he would, because he had a battle the next week, I think, T-Top.
Yeah, maybe, I think so. Yeah. I think a big standout in that battle, that I hear a lot from the fans, was Big K's third round.
Yeah.
I think the strong point of that is because going in, a lot of media, bloggers, fans, they thought that Big K would lose because he would end up giving away a round by joking too much. And if you speak to Big K, he'll tell you that he did that third round, but put so much lyricism into it still and made sure that it was still impactful, just to try to prove people wrong. You know, he was just being standoffish about it. Like, he didn't like the fact that people were counting him out for an approach instead of counting him out for his own, how good he is as a battle rapper. So he put together like three minutes plus of jumping in and out of joking and you know, those type of tactical angles, and I think it came off great. I've never seen a round in 2017 that made me laugh that much.
Yeah,
is the Big K third round. Not to take anything away from JC. Shout out to JC as well. But I think that was probably what I took the most away from that battle, because I knew the history coming out of why Big K did that.
And out of interest, what was the thinking behind the writers card, which I think is obviously a fantastic idea? Arguably, RBE is kind of a writers' league to a certain extent. You seem to get the highest pens, you know. But
you just nailed it. And I love the fact that RBE's personality comes out so clearly at this point to the fans and to our followers, that you can answer for us exactly where our head was when we created the writer's card, because it is so fitting of what Rare Breed Entertainment is since day one. So to see a guy like Big Cannon and Danger Zone headline a card, to us, that's great. I think it's a little bit hard out there to see on some of the big platforms, Big Cannon and Danger Zone headline cards, because once again, people are very, very caught up in status. But RBE, who is respected by the fans as one of the top platforms, to be able to present a card with two guys like that in a main event and it be well received, that's our personality once again.
Yeah. And crazy. A shame Chiller Mr. Mills couldn't go down. I really need to see that battle.
Yeah, we really want to see that as well. And Chilla Jones and I spoke the day of. Mr. Mills and I spoke, or was it the day before? One or the other. And Mr. Mills as well. And there was enough conversation, that happened in the midst of all that drama, that everybody was able to walk away with their respect intact. I respect Mr. Mills. I respect Chilla Jones. We don't have anything that's still bubbling over from that. There's nothing that we're carrying. We don't feel any type of way about it. Mr. Mills, he sent me some shout outs since then. So as much as it's a battle that we wanted to see, that stuff happens, across every platform, and we're not subject to it. To not happen. We're not subject to it not happening.
Yeah.
And that's not even to try to sound like there was a bad business or anything like that. I don't even want to come off
Sure.
I'd rather just come off where fans understand that we're not holding on to it. We're not upset at this moment about it or anything like that. We don't carry any ill feelings towards that situation anymore. And we also, from a professional side, understand that stuff happens sometimes in battle rap, where we could all be anticipating a match, but for whatever reason it may not happen. URL just lost a match. They had a traffic card, and Danny Myers and K. Shine were supposed to be on it. Now I know they made up for it on the Smack card that was in New York, but the California fans, there's some people in California that don't get to make it to New York that didn't get a chance to see K. Shine versus Danny Myers live the way they wanted to, and they had to suck that up, get through it, get to the rest of their event, and the fans had to help them move along as well. So, we're not going to be any different towards it. We're going to carry it just like that as well.
Yeah. And, closing out the year incredibly strong with Pearly Gates. We've had Big KO Red, DNA Big Cannon, JC Ilmac just came out today, as we said. Like, what is the planning process for you? Do you have multiple events in the pipeline at any one time, or?
Yeah, and before I jump into that in more detail, let me also just add, either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, we will be dropping Daylight versus Ill Will. That was another main battle from Pearly Gates. I am seeing a lot of talk that Ill Will is retired now.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So and if that stays true, then this might be the last release of Ill Will. That's in Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. So shout out to Ill Will and shout out to Daylight, because I think when that battle drops, people are gonna say that it might have been the best battle of Pearly Gates, and I like that because it had mixed feelings coming in. People were wondering how Daylight was gonna take it, if he was gonna be serious. There was a bigger spotlight on Big K and Red, JC and Ilmac, and rightfully so. Turns out that Daylight and I'm glad that when that battle drops, the fans are gonna be excited to see that. Wow, even though they've been enjoying JC, Ilmac, Red, Big K and Big Cannon, DNA, but this might even be the best battle of Pearly Gates. So we got that coming ASAP. But as far as booking multiple events at the same time, or what we may have in the pipeline, it depends.
Yeah.
It depends. And there's been times where we've been 3 cards into working. When we had writers going on, we already were booking, or when we were setting up writers, we already were booking Pearly Gates. Like Red and Big K was booked in, I believe, June.
Right. And
writers didn't go down until September. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we'll do stuff like that if we feel that it fits the plan of what we want to do at any given time of the year. But there may be other times where we may take a little bit more of a back seat instead of jumping on stuff real early, and then get closer to when we want to come back for a card and just focus on that one card, finish that out, and then decide what we want to do after. So it really depends. We kind of adapt to what's happening in the game and what we want to do, ourselves as a company. So right now, we only have one card on the table, which is February 3rd. That'll be Lift His Soul 4. That is our theme series now, where every battle is booked within a certain themed type of matchup.
Right.
We're looking forward to that.
Okay, awesome. And, I mean, in general, 2018, another busy year for the league?
Yeah, we're gonna stay busy, just as busy as we did in 2017, 16, 15, 14.
Yep.
We're gonna keep changing. We keep growing as a platform. You know, where we have our website up now, rarebreedent.com, rarebreedent.com. The merch and the apparel will be coming soon. You'll be able to get your Rare Breed clothing there. Get all your exclusive updates, your first looks there. So we're growing as a platform. We're offering more things to our fan base. This event may be the first event that we do live stream. So, yes, this might be the first live stream event. So we are definitely expanding certain ways that we're interacting with the fans, certain offerings that we're giving to the fans. And definitely from a card standpoint, staying just as busy as any other year.
Yeah. All right, brilliant. Well, I guess we'll finally wrap up. What are some RBE battles you'd recommend for people that maybe haven't seen one?
Man, and I'd like to salute you for doing your homework on Rare Breed Entertainment, because you've called out some RBE classics.
Yeah,
and I'd like to recommend some of those same ones. You know, but
that's a good shout. Yeah,
I definitely would like people to check out battles like Daylight versus Oops, Arsenal versus QB.
Yeah, so good.
Disrespect versus the two most disrespectful people in battle rap, the female version and the male version clash. Check out O-Red versus Oops. That battle is one of the best RBE battles for multiple reasons. Once again, you got Oops, who is a guy that we've helped develop and you know has that reputation under the RBE umbrella. But you have O-Red in one of his best performances ever. He said he faced one of his hardest opponents ever. You see that in the footage. It was a judge battle for $2,000 on the line. We see that very rarely.
Yeah.
It was judged, and there was also some other stuff going on when we had the riots and the shootings and everything happening in St. Louis, and things were real tough out there. Being that St. Louis is where Oops is from, everybody knows he's gotten into government. Politics. In that third round, when he started to talk about what was going on in St. Louis, he requested that the lights be turned off. So the lights came down, and naturally, when the lights are off, the cameras, they're blacked out. There's nothing to shoot. So we supplemented that visual in the footage with actual St. Louis riot footage that was happening out there at that time of when that battle released. Time, all of that is just. There's so many factors to that battle. That's another battle where the judging came down to the final judge. We had two judges go split it, Oops and O-Red, and then the final judge was Matt Hoffa, and he gave the final split decision. So that battle right there is highly recommended as well. You got JC Craig Lamar, you got Danny Meyer, Chilla.
So many good battles, so many.
Yeah. Big Cannon JC is another one.
Big Cannon is a killer on RBE, isn't he? He's in his best form on the league, it seems.
Yeah, I love Big Cannon on RBE. He's one of our guys, one of the pillars of RBE. You got Official versus QB. That's one of my favorite female battles on RBE. Maybe the top one for me. Show Off has some amazing battles on RBE as well.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's a lot of stuff up there. I'm glad I'm to the point where I'm going blank on our catalog.
Of course.
Of course, man. Going on, so I'm humbled by that.
Yeah. I want to urge everyone listening, as I'm sure you are already, but obviously subscribe to the RBE channel. How do people get at you and the league? Twitter, Facebook, that sort of stuff?
Yes, you can follow me, hit me up, drop me your comments, interact with me on Twitter and Instagram. Both are the same, ITSARP. That's at ITSARP. It's ARP. Please go up to youtube.com/RBEvids, RBEVIDS, or just go into YouTube and type in Rare Breed Entertainment and we'll come up. Subscribe to the channel, support the channel, please. We need everybody's support so that we can keep delivering this content to you guys. And you can actually get anything that you need Rare Breed Entertainment wise, whether it's the latest blog, the latest battle, the latest trailer, tickets to our upcoming event at rarebreedent.com. Right now we have Lithosoul 4 that's coming on February 3rd on sale. We always do a pre-release of tickets discounted that'll always be cheaper until it gets closer to the event. So go there right now, rarebreedent.com. catch your latest video, catch your latest blog, grab a ticket to an upcoming event, and stay in tune to the RBE movement, because it's always going to be pound brick by brick.
Yeah. I mean, it's an incredible league, as I'm sure we've got across in this chat. But ARP, it's been a treat to have you on, man. Thank you so much.
Likewise, man. Thank you so much for staying in tune, and your great interview, man. You're doing some great stuff with this out there. Please keep it moving. I'd like to rock out with you again ASAP.
Of course.
Another one.
Yeah, we should preview maybe an upcoming RBE card or something. That would be good to go through. Yeah, this is great, man. I want to thank everyone for listening. Please support on Patreon, iTunes, leaves a review, all that good stuff. But finally, ARP, thank you again.
Thank you, my man.